Hello. In this video, we're going to create our template for DDE in AutoCAD. So on your desktop, you're looking for this software. It's the red A. You can also search for it on the computer. So I'm going to double click to open that up. It takes a few minutes. I don't keep clicking, just let it think. And it's going to open looking like this. Yours may have a pop-up if you've never used AutoCAD, asking you to, if you want to start drawing, just click yes. These files, just like in Inventor, are showing you recent files that you've opened. I would just ignore that. So right now, we're going to click this drop down next to New, or click New. Oh, I gotta get mine to pop up the way I want it. New, and we're going to click Browse Template. If you can see, it'll learn what template you want to use, but right now you're going to click Browse Templates because yours is not going to show you your template. So Browse Templates, and we're going to grab this ACAD all lowercase regular template, and then click Open. So if you look at the top up here, it's showing me that it's a drawing. So it's saying a .dwg, which is a drawing file. That's fine. At any point, if you need to stop working, you don't have time to finish. Sorry about that. You don't have time to finish the video. Just click to the red A and press Save. I'll show you at the end of the video how to save this as a template. We're only going to have one template. Everything else is going to be a drawing that pulls information from this. Think of when we're doing our hand drawings, every time you set up your board or your title block, we're going to do this once and just pull that information every time we go to start a drawing. That's why it's really important that this drawing, or this template, is set up correctly. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our layer properties. Just like our different line types when we're hand drawing, we're going to set up our different layers in AutoCAD. And if I open this up, you can see this is going to tell me if it's an active layer. It tells me the name. So 0 is the default layer. We're going to create other layers beneath that. We have whether it's on or not. If that's turned off, you won't be able to see it. Same thing with freeze. And if I hover over it, it'll tell me what these are as well. If your layer is locked, it won't allow you to make changes to that. You can determine if your layer is going to print or not, the color, the line type, the line weight, transparency, and this viewport freeze, you want to make sure that has a sun on it as well. Sometimes you'll see something in your model space, but not in your viewport. So let's go ahead and make our layers. If you're having a hard time seeing what's happening in the video, it may be helpful to open up the screenshot of the different layers and look at that as well, because you're just going to match all of the settings for each of these layers. So I'm going to start by creating a new layer. I can also create it with frozen. I can delete layers, and I can set something as current. So I'm going to start a new layer, and I'm going to call this border. My border layer I'm going to leave white. I'm going to make sure it's continuous, and then the line weight, I'm going to click here and I have to scroll. I'm going to set that to 0.7 because remember, our border lines are the thickest lines on our paper. I'm going to click OK. And I'm just going to go through and keep making my new layers. This one's going to be center. I am going to change my color, so I'm going to change it to this index color 3. I'm really only going to pull colors from this row. So this is going to be index color 3. It's this bit bright green. I want to change my center line type to center. So when I open this, continuous is the only line type loaded into my drawing. So I need to load another one. So I'm going to come in and scroll. I'm looking for center. Just plain center, not half scaled, not twice the scale. Just regular center. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to select that and click OK again. And you can see that line type changed here. So let's do our construction layer next. What's unique about our construction layer, these are like our guidelines and construction lines when we're drawing. This is our number 6 pencil. Just like you don't really want to see them on a hand drawing, we're going to turn off the plotting for that in AutoCAD. These I'm going to change the color, and this is going to be index color 7 or magenta. I want these to be continuous. And I didn't change my center line. And the line weight is going to be 0.3. While I'm here, I'm going to change that line weight for my center line is going to be 0.35. Okay. So I'm going to click new layer. This is going to be cutting plane. I do want this to print. Cutting plane is going to be back to that index color 7 or white. We need to load a new line type. This is going to be Phantom. And it's going to have a 0.5 line weight. New layer. Dimension. Our dimension lines are going to be red. They're going to be continuous. And they're going to have a line weight of 0.35. Next up is going to be our hidden layer. I'm going to change the color to index color 4 or cyan. Our hidden lines are going to be dashed, so we're going to load a new one. I'm looking for regular dashed. Okay. Okay. And our hidden lines are going to be 0.5. Next is going to be our object layer. These are going to be the most used lines that we have. They're going to be white. This allows you to view them as white in this model space, but when you're in your paper space, they'll show up as black. So that's important that you're choosing this index color 7 from this row. They're going to be continuous. And our object lines have a line weight of 0.6. Just a few more. Our section lines. They're going to be white, continuous, with a line weight of 0.35. And lastly is text. And that's going to have the same settings as my section lines. So those are going to be all of my settings. Make sure the only ones that are turned off to print are a construction layer, and everything else has the light bulb turned on and a sun. If any of these settings over here have been changed, please make sure to change them back. And you can just click on them to lock or unlock, to freeze, unfreeze, or turn on or off. So this is currently just a pop-up. It's showing us these layer properties. As long as we save our document, these are going to save. So I'm going to close out of this. And I'm going to open up my border layer. So if you see right here, that's going to make sure it's active. Don't change anything over here in this properties over here, because that can really throw off what's happening when you go to print and when you're viewing your layers. I'm going to grab a rectangle. You can see right here. You can either click, or AutoCAD's really good. If you just start typing, it's going to give you those tools as well. So I'm going to click, and what's different about AutoCAD from Inventor is once you draw it, you can't change it. So you need to make sure you're drawing it correctly when you start. So I'm going to start with a 10.5, and I'm just typing, and then I'm going to press Tab. And that's going to allow me to change the other dimension. And I'm going to make it 8. Tab. So right now, I'm still trying to edit those, but it's locked those in because I've input where I want those to be. And I'm going to press Enter to set that rectangle. Now, I don't have an option of dimensioning this. Let me bring that dimension out. And changing that like I did in Inventor. I could change this to whatever I want, but it's not going to change the actual dimension of my object. So I need to make sure that I'm drawing it accurately. If yours looks like mine, pause. I just want to show you in case you missed it. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, click to start it. I'm going to type 10.5 in the width, press tab on my keyboard, and type 8, and then press enter. And that's going to lock in my 10 by 8 rectangle. So I'm going to start my line. You can also type L, enter, on this bottom left corner. If you're seeing yours isn't snapping, see how I can snap to the endpoint? Those are going to be your O snap settings. So if I type OSNAP, enter, these are my settings. Because I know what my symbols are, I like to have them all on. If this is difficult for you, you can turn them off and make sure endpoint and midpoint. But when I'm looking specifically for an endpoint or midpoint, these are the symbols I'm going to look for. I tend to turn things on, but if you want to start a little bit more basic, we can do that. So I'm going to grab my line tool, I'm going to start at the end point of my rectangle, and I'm going to come straight up 1/2 inch. 0.5, enter, and then I'm going to move my cursor past the end of the object and see how it should kind of align like that. I can just click this ortho mode and it's going to lock me in. And we're going to draw short segments of lines to represent our different sections of our title block. So I'm going to do 0.5 and then press enter. And you can see it drew just that part of the line. So then 3.5, 3, 1, enter, 1, enter, and then 3/4. That still leaves me with a section. If you look, I can see that it's going to be 3/4, but I'm just going to type 0.75, enter, and that's going to close and finish my title block. I'm going to turn that ortho mode off. I'm also going to turn on my O snaps, just because I find it a little bit easier to work with. So now we're going to divide this up. I'm looking for that end point. So if I look at another symbol, I'm looking for that green square. So I'm going to grab here and bring that straight down. I'm going to press enter and now close out of it. And if I press enter again, it started a new tool. So I'm looking for that green square, and there's one, and I'm going to bring that straight down. And I'm just going to divide up all the different sections of my title block. Again, I know this is tedious. Once we do this once, we won't have to do this anymore. So there are the different sections of my title block. Your DDE number, your name, the title, ratio, date, block number, and drawing number. Those should all be drawn in my border layer. So I'm going to actually activate my construction layer, and I'm going to draw a line corner to corner through each of these boxes. So I'm just going to go corner to corner, and that's going to allow me to use the midpoint of that construction line for my text, and it's going to snap it into the right place. So I'm going to highlight everything. If you look in AutoCAD, if I click my left cursor and move and hold it and move it, that's going to create this kind of active selection tool. I don't ever use that. What I will do is, if I'm moving from left to right, so in this direction, see how it's blue? If it's blue, I have to select something in its entirety. So if I come down here, see how it's selecting just those things that I have in its entirety. If I go from right to left, it's going to select things that it touches, even though it's not fully encompassed. So either way, you just want to make sure you select everything. And I'm just going to start typing. And if you can see, this command bar is really important. That's going to tell you different things about the tools you're using. So I'm going to type copy base, and I'm going to press enter. And it says specify base point. I'm going to use this bottom left corner because that's what I want to reference when I paste this on the next page. So I'm going to